Hi, Chef Bob again at the Cannon Beach Cooking School here in Cannon Beach, Oregon. So I am going to show you today yet one more great option to do with zucchini for pasta. You've seen in previous videos where we cut zucchini like pasta and cook it just like we would pasta for a gluten-free option. Now I'm using that same approach, if you will, to do a ravioli. You've seen ravioli done on my website before, but this is going to be our finished product. We're going to take zucchini skins and we're going to turn them into a beautiful ravioli pouch. So stay with me. So what I want to do to start this off is I've got some samples here, but I'm using a mandolin and I've got one that's specifically designed just for slicing. I've adjusted it on a somewhat medium setting. You're going to play with this with your own mandolin, but basically I'm taking zucchini with the ends cut off, and you want to go lengthwise down the mandolin, being very careful. I'm breaking rule number one, I'm not using the guard, so when you do this, use the guard. And being very focused, we have these beautiful strips of zucchini. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take a little bit of my filling. I'm going to come in at the end of one of these. And we're going to roll it to create a seam and then close that seam in. And you'll know if it's not thin enough because if it breaks on you, well, then you're going to go a little bit thinner on the next one. I'm going to turn it over sideways. I'm going to come in and create a bottom, kind of coming over the last seam right here. And now I've kind of sealed it around all sides. Let's do a couple more just for good measure. A little bit of filling. Come around and roll, creating a bottom seam. Now, this is a good point to bring up. You don't want to be too tight. It should be plump, but it shouldn't be so firm because as it cooks, it's going to expand. And if it expands too quickly and it's too tight, it's going to blow it up. And that we don't want to have happen. I'm going to come in. There's my seam again. Close that. Come up underneath. Because you've got me captured here, I'm going to do one more because redundancy is good in the kitchen. All right. Last one up. Coming around. Oops, get the excess off my thumb. Kind of loose. Come up underneath. And voila, a little zucchini sandwich. Now, zucchini needs help. It doesn't have a lot of seasoning except for the filling itself. So I've got a little bit of a garlic-infused olive oil. Garlic and thyme, actually. Put a little bit on top of the zucchini. I'm going to kind of work that in. One of my big rules is good alone, better together. The filling is good, the zucchini has to be equally good alone. Then, once we have the oil, we're going to come in with a little nice pinch of a fine celery sea salt. Remember, zucchini needs help, so it might look like you're over seasoning, but zucchini needs the salt to make it do its thing. And we're going to go ahead with the requisite ground coriander seed. Those who know me know I love this. Oh, my little secret weapon in my arsenal. Perfect. And a little bit of ground black pepper. And our little ravioli substitution is ready for the oven. So I will cover this now with another piece of parchment paper. I want to kind of create almost a steaming effect. I'll cover it with foil, 400 degrees, 10 to 15 minutes. I'm looking for an internal temperature of about 145 to 150. Now, traditionally, I would call this a reheat, but everything is cooked. It's vegetable material. What I really care about in this case is melting the cheese, and 145 will do that for me. At 145 to 150, take the foil off, keep it in the oven because you're creating steam, and that's going to have a little bit of moisture on the zucchini. Putting it in the oven for another 5 minutes without the foil allows the evaporation to take place, and you get a little crispy, or I'm going to say a tough outside. Now, I don't mean tough like it's going to be tough to chew, but remember, we're trying to get the same texture of a ravioli skin. So when someone eats this, I want them to feel like they have al dente in the noodle, in this case the noodle being zucchini. Let me tell you, when I serve this, usually the guests on either side want some of what they're having. So, from Bob Neroni at the Cannon Beach Cooking School, on behalf of all of us here, one more option for your gluten-free or your dietary restrictions. Have a great holiday season. Remember, all of our recipes are at www.evoo.biz. That's evoo.biz. I look forward to hearing your responses to all of our work. Thanks again. Have a great season.